Welcome back to our continuing coverage of a verdict is in the case against Karmelo Anthony in McKinney, Texas. Collin County is the scene. This is the outside of the Collin County courthouse. Inside the courtroom, the parties have gathered, and our Cody Thomas is in place. We're just awaiting the judge to take the bench. He says that Karmelo Anthony is there. This is the first appearance of Hunter Metcalf. This is the twin brother. He was not called as a witness, but he is now in the courtroom. He hasn't been in the courtroom for any of the trial. This is his first appearance inside that courtroom, and Cody continues to pass along messages saying the courtroom is filling up steadily. Of course, security is very high. Both sets of parents are in the courtroom, Karmelo Anthony's parents, and of course the Metcalfs as well in the courtroom, along with their son, the surviving twin Hunter Metcalf. Outside the courthouse, of course, it's been chaotic over the course of the trial on some level, but we're seeing it bubble up now as news spreads that there is a verdict in this case. Karmelo Anthony admits that he stabbed Austin Metcalf at a track meet last year after the two got into a verbal confrontation underneath a high school tent during a rain event. Both sides have different opinions on what transpired next. The defense here is that Karmelo warned the Metcalf brothers, specifically Austin, that he had something in his bag and he better not touch him or else. When Austin Metcalf then pushed Karmelo Anthony, he did reach in, grabbed a 4-inch pocket knife, and stabbed the young 17-year-old to death. Along with us, Michael Jafer and Sonny Slaughter. We've all watched this trial play out through the eyes of Cody Thomas. And again, if I cut you off, it's because we're getting some transmissions from Cody. But Sonny, to you first here as we await this verdict. There are three basic scenarios. You've got guilty of murder, the top charge, which carries with it a potential life sentence. Next is manslaughter, put on the table today through the defense. The judge granted that. And then, of course, the third option, not guilty. How important is it for that jury and for the defense to have manslaughter on the verdict form?
I think it's really important because I do not feel like Karmelo Anthony had the initial intent or the intent to murder. I think it was reactionary. I think all of them should have calmed down. They didn't. And I just think, I don't think it was an intentional homicide, but I don't see this as a not guilty verdict at all because someone is dead, Austin is deceased, and that is a criminal act. So manslaughter is the best that they can hope for, and with a lower sentencing, but I do not see Karmelo walking out of court today as a free young man.
Michael, do you agree that's a long shot?
I disagree with Sonny on this one. I think that there's a good chance he's going to be acquitted because here's why. There was only one testimony that I've seen is that he stabbed him one time. He didn't stab him multiple times. I do agree that he shouldn't have done it, and I do agree that it was maybe disproportionate. But there's a good chance that this jury is going to come back not guilty because they came back so. If this deliberation was 3 days, 4 days, I think I would tend to agree that probably they'll come back with manslaughter. But coming back in 3 hours, man, I can't imagine them coming back in 3 hours and finding him guilty. I feel like they're going to come back and find him not guilty. It's just I question the 3 hours. I just question that. So I think there's a good chance of that. But look, could it be that they came back in 3 hours with manslaughter and manslaughter was the gift that they needed?
They are back on the record, according to our Cody Thomas inside the courtroom. The jury is heading into the courtroom. Karmelo is looking very serious but expressionless. Defense attorney has his arm around him. The tension is clearly high in here, not verbal, but you can feel it. That is our Cody Thomas sending notes to us because, again, if you're just joining us, there are no cameras allowed in this case, but it has been watched by people across the country, and specifically for those living in the Collin County, Texas area. So we'll wait with bated breath until Cody types again, but the scene has been set, the jury has been called for. We do know what comes next. Guilty of murder. This is Cody Thomas. The verdict is guilty of murder, the top charge against Karmelo Anthony.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
Wow.
yeah, wow, indeed. We'll watch the crowd outside. They will start to get this information momentarily. And if we could keep that camera up on the outside there, because it'll just be a matter of seconds before this crowd reacts.
Wow.
There's a live look outside the courthouse as people have gathered. Again, if you're just joining us, Karmelo Anthony has been found guilty of murder, the top charge in this case, after just 3 hours of deliberation. Sonny, besides which a lot of us are feeling, thoughts?
I was not expecting the top charge. I really was thinking that they would see manslaughter, still guilty, but manslaughter, different sentencing, but guilty of murder. So, that's heavy.
Wow.
And I hope everyone just does not seem like everyone's going to be calm. It seems like we're going to have a problem there.
Yeah,
This is dumb.
you can see the...
This is dumb.
What is dumb, Michael?
I'm sorry, Ted. This is just dumb. This is stupid. I can't believe that this jury came back in 3 hours with guilty. I'm totally stunned. On top of that, this judge as well, not letting cameras in the courtroom. I mean, good job. Good job, Your Honor. Really, really, really good job. You handled it really, really well. You have this community that's about to get lit on fire. You don't allow cameras to go into a courtroom. The community already believes that this kid is being railroaded. And then look at what happened. Your jury came back within 3 hours for a guilty a verdict for a kid who used a 4-inch knife one time, didn't use it multiple times. Was it wrong? Yes. But was it murder, like beyond a reasonable doubt? No. And was it murder beyond a reasonable doubt within 3 hours? Absolutely not. This is insane. This is dumb.
Cody Thomas saying that there are tears on Karmelo's side of the courtroom, and they're going into the penalty phase immediately. So this, no one is leaving the courtroom. They're going to now go into the penalty phase. There's a huge, Karmelo Anthony is a young man. He is now 19. And the sentencing for the top charge, a lot of states, you're found guilty of murder, you're going away, sometimes for life without, or at least 25 to life before you're eligible. Texas is different. The range of sentencing here is 5 years to life in prison. So the decision-making now, and we'll wait till Cody updates us whether the jury's going to stay and do the sentencing or if it'll be the judge. Boy, if I'm the defense, I'm getting that jury as far away from this courthouse as possible.
Yeah, 100%, 1,000%. I'm not letting this jury touch. I mean, I'm questioning the jury. I'm asking them, how did you reach your verdict? How did you reach it so quickly? What happened? It was a 4-inch knife. He used it one time. He was pushed. I'm not saying that it was right, but what are you doing? How did you get this verdict? I'd want to know. My whole identity as a defense attorney would be in question, right? I'm questioning my identity right now, and I have nothing to do with this case. How could you come back like that? I would be enraged. I'm enraged right now. This is very upsetting. And then on top of it, to compound it, this dumb judge didn't allow cameras in the courtroom. What was your wisdom? What were you thinking? How you put on a robe? Are you that much of an imbecile that you won't let cameras in the courtroom in a case like this? This is not a rape case. This is something different. This is something that's clearly the whole community is enraged. And you knew that before the trial started. So, I mean, this is very upsetting.
You can see the reaction. The crowd outside, of course, has received the news that Karmelo Anthony has been found guilty of the top charge of murder, and now inside the courtroom, they are moving to the penalty phase. At this point, you do wish that the people that were supporting Austin Metcalf would just leave. To be honest, the jury has come back with guilty. There's no need for Mr. Stars and Stripes to be standing there with his moronic, intimidating, stand your ground-ish, cliche look to continue to incite. You won. Move on. Get out. Also joining us, Judge Kimberly Bando. It's been a while, Kimberly. It's nice to see you. Your reaction here.
If I'm the defense attorney, I'm already preparing my appellate brief. I want to poll the jury. I want to know one by one, is this your verdict? I already have my Batson challenge, enumeration error in my appellate brief. I'm already I'm pivoting right now. And I'm also trying to get some mitigation witnesses ready. He's a good kid, Judge. This was a mistake. We're remorseful. He admitted it as soon as the police stopped him. You have to pivot as a defense attorney and move on to the next phase. The verdict is in.
Yep.
Cody Thomas saying that there's lots of crying in the courtroom as everybody absorbs this on Karmelo's side. Also, on the Metcalf side, tears. And again, they're going straight into the penalty phase. And Judge Bando, the jury makeup, there was a Batson challenge launched after the state used their strikes to get rid of the only 3 African Americans that were potential jurors. And they said this was because they worked for the school district, or a school district, and that's the reason they cut them out. Looking forward, is that reason enough in your estimation?
It may not be reason enough, but it's a substantial possible enumeration of error that I would definitely raise. That would be number one. That initially on the forefront of this, that my client was not afforded a jury of his peers. The state arbitrarily struck them as jurors based on their race, and not because you can be an educator and be reasonable. That doesn't automatically eliminate you from being a juror on this panel. Teachers punish, discipline, rehabilitate, and actually would be better jurors because they're used to dealing with these scenarios with children fighting, having difficulties. And that's exactly who you would want on the jury. And I would definitely argue that in my appellate brief.
Yeah, Sonny, I hear you chiming in as well.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Judge. I was thinking manslaughter. I didn't think they would come back with not guilty. Manslaughter, because this was a crime. But so, since we are here, I am thinking that no matter who makes the call, I'm looking at, they're going to say 25 plus. I can't imagine, based on what we're seeing now, this, I would like for everyone at the scene to just, it's better if they just move away, back up, because any riots or anything, that is just going to be problematic. I think this judge really did the most damage to this case by not allowing cameras in the courtroom.
Yes.
It allowed social media to fester, to foster. It allowed the hate to grow. It allowed the lies and the misinformation.
We're gonna get a break. Cody just said that they are going to be going into sentencing, and that the jury will be deciding punishment. And it looks like they're preparing some witnesses to call. So a short break inside the courtroom, outside the courthouse. This is the scene as people react to the guilty verdict against Karmelo Anthony.
The verdict is finally in, and it has sent shockwaves across Texas. After weeks of intense public attention, 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony has been found guilty of murder in the fatal stabbing of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf during a high school track meet in McKinney, Texas. The case centered around a confrontation that took place between a tent during a weather delay at the event. According to testimony presented during the trial, an argument broke out between the two teenagers before the situation escalated into violence. Anthony admitted that he stabbed Metcalf, but his defense argued that he acted in self-defense after being physically confronted. Throughout the trial, the defense maintained that Anthony never intended to kill anyone and claimed the incident was a reaction to a rapidly escalating conflict. Prosecutors, however, argued that the use of a knife during the confrontation crossed the line into criminal conduct and justified a murder conviction. Now, their focus shifts to sentencing. Under Texas law, a murder conviction carries a wide range of possible penalties, and the same jury will not hear additional evidence before deciding Anthony's punishment. The sentence could range from several years in prison to life behind bars, and this highly watched case into its next phase. One thing is clear: the impact of the strategy will be felt long after the courtroom proceedings come to an end. And here is my first video of YouTube about news. Please subscribe and press the bell icon to get latest updates about US news. Thank you so much.